Before we begin, let's agree on something quietly. You don't need to fix anything tonight. You don't need to understand what's happening. You don't even need to know where this is going. All you need to do is arrive. Not arrive at an answer. Not arrive at a plan. Just arrive here. If you're listening to this, there's a good chance you're standing in a moment without a map, a place where direction used to exist, where a next step used to feel obvious, and now it doesn't. The signs you trusted are gone. The landmarks don't line up. The compass keeps spinning. And maybe that's what unsettled you enough to come looking for something quieter than advice. So let's start there. Picture yourself standing at the edge of something undefined, not dramatic, not catastrophic, just open. The kind of openness that feels less like freedom and more like exposure. There's no clear road forward, no obvious turn back, no reassuring voice telling you what this moment means. Just space. Uncertainty often announces itself this way, not with panic, but with absence. An absence of direction, an absence of confidence, an absence of language strong enough to explain what you're feeling. And that absence can feel deeply personal, as if everyone else was handed instructions you somehow missed. But here's something worth letting settle in your body tonight. Uncertainty is not a personal failure. It is a shared human condition. Every life passes through unmapped territory. Every story has chapters where the outline dissolves. Even the people who look certain from the outside have stood exactly where you are now, wondering which version of themselves they're supposed to become next. Uncertainty isn't a detour. It's part of the terrain. So instead of trying to escape it, we're going to do something different tonight. We're going to stand still inside it, not to analyze it, not to conquer it, just to notice what it feels like when you stop running from not knowing. Take a slow breath in, not deep, not forced, just enough to mark the moment, and let it go gently, as if you're setting something down rather than pushing it away. Good. If your body feels restless, that's okay. If your thoughts are circling, that's okay too. You don't need to quiet them yet. You're not here to discipline your mind. You're here to keep it company. Notice how uncertainty lives in your body tonight. Maybe it sits in your chest as a low hum of unease. Maybe it pulls at your stomach. Maybe it shows up as tension behind the eyes, from thinking too much for too long. You don't need to label it precisely. Just acknowledge it like you would acknowledge weather moving through a place you're standing. This is what tonight feels like. For many of us, uncertainty carries an added weight. The belief that if we don't figure things out quickly, something bad will happen. That stillness equals stagnation. That waiting is dangerous. But uncertainty itself isn't dangerous. What exhausts us is the constant effort to outrun it. Tonight, you're allowed to stop. You're allowed to be someone who doesn't know. There is a quiet dignity in admitting, even briefly, I don't have the answer yet. Not because you've given up, but because you've recognized that answers don't always arrive on demand. Imagine setting down the need to decide, just for this hour, setting it beside you like a bag that's grown heavy. You're not throwing it away. You're not ignoring it. You're simply giving yourself permission to rest your hands. You don't have to pick a direction tonight. You don't have to choose a meaning. You don't have to know what this moment leads to. You only need to stay. Staying is an underrated skill. Staying with confusion. Staying with questions that haven't earned their answers yet. Staying with yourself, exactly as you are. without asking for proof that this pause is justified. This chapter, this moment without a map, is not about bravery or optimism. It's about honesty, about recognizing that clarity often disappears before it returns, and that the space in between isn't empty, it's simply unmarked. If you listen closely, you might notice something subtle happening already. When you stop demanding direction, your body softens a fraction. Your breath finds its own rhythm. The urgency eases, not because the questions are gone, but because you've stopped fighting their presence. That's the beginning of rest, not the rest that comes from answers, the rest that comes from permission. As we continue, we'll explore why uncertainty feels so threatening, and why your mind reacts the way it does when the path disappears. But for now, stay here, in this unmapped moment. Let the ground beneath you be undefined. Let the horizon remain unclear. Let tonight be a place where you don't have to know. You're not lost. You're simply between destinations. And for now, that's enough. Uncertainty rarely announces itself as a thought. It arrives first as a sensation, a tightening in the chest, a subtle vigilance behind the eyes, the feeling that something unfinished is standing just out of view, waiting to be dealt with. The mind is very good at translating the unknown into threat. Not because it's broken, but because it's ancient. Long before uncertainty meant unanswered emails or unresolved conversations, it meant exposure, hunger, weather, predators moving quietly through tall grass. To not know was to be vulnerable. To know, even something unpleasant, was safer than drifting. And so your mind learned a rule that it still follows faithfully. If we don't know what's coming, we should prepare for the worst. This rule kept people alive. But tonight, it may be keeping you awake. Notice how uncertainty doesn't usually say, "I don't know." It says, "What if? What if this doesn't work out? What if I made the wrong choice? What if something important is slipping away while I'm not paying attention?" The mind fills the silence with motion. It replays conversations. It scans the future. It drafts imaginary outcomes as if rehearsal could prevent pain. This is not weakness. It is instinct. The brain is designed to reduce ambiguity. It wants edges, categories, timelines. It wants to convert the open field into a map, any map, so it knows where to stand. And when it cannot find one, it sounds an alarm. That alarm doesn't always feel loud. Sometimes it feels like restlessness, like the urge to check something one more time, like the quiet pressure to do something, anything, so the not knowing will loosen its grip. But uncertainty is not actually dangerous. It only feels that way. What the mind is reacting to is not threat itself, but lack of control. And control has always been its favorite illusion. You might notice how quickly uncertainty tries to recruit action. Decide now, fix it, figure it out, just don't stay here. Yet staying is exactly what we're practicing, not as resignation, not as avoidance, but as recognition. Because many of the things that trouble us most cannot be solved in a single moment of effort. They are not puzzles waiting for insight, but processes waiting for time. Relationships, identity, grief, direction. The mind treats these like emergencies. The body experiences them like weather. And when weather arrives, there is nothing to fix, only something to feel, to endure, to move through at its own pace. Notice how the impulse to escape uncertainty often disguises itself as responsibility. I should be doing something about this. I can't just sit here, not knowing. If I don't act now, I'll regret it. But urgency does not always signal importance. Often, it signals discomfort. And discomfort is not a verdict. It is a sensation. You are allowed to experience it without responding. Tonight, nothing is being decided. Nothing is being concluded. Nothing is being solved. That doesn't mean you are failing. It means you are resting in a place the mind rarely visits on purpose. Uncertainty feels dangerous because it removes the familiar scaffolding of certainty, the stories we tell ourselves about how things should unfold. Without those stories, the future becomes wide, undefined, quietly immense. The mind prefers a narrow, painful certainty to a wide, open unknown. But the unknown is not empty. It is simply unwritten. And being unwritten does not make it hostile. If you listen closely, you might notice that beneath the fear of uncertainty is something else entirely. A softness, a pause, a space where effort is not yet required. This is the space we so often rush through. We hurry to name it, to label it, to turn it into a decision. But tonight, we are letting it remain unnamed. Let your mind notice that nothing bad happens when an answer is delayed, that the body continues to breathe, that the room remains steady, that you are still here. The danger your mind predicts does not arrive. What arrives instead is a quieter truth. You can survive not knowing. You have survived it before, in every transition, every waiting room, every night when clarity didn't come on schedule. Uncertainty did not end you then. It does not need to end you now. As this chapter settles, allow yourself to soften the vigilance just slightly. Not to trust the outcome, not to trust the future, just to trust this moment, the moment where nothing is required of you, where the mind can stand down from patrol, where not knowing is no longer an emergency, but a condition of being alive. In the next chapter, we'll explore what happens when you choose deliberately not to act on uncertainty. But for now, simply notice this. The feeling of danger is not proof of danger, and rest can exist even when answers do not. Stay here a little longer, often unnoticed, when the urge to act rises. It does not announce itself loudly. It feels practical, sensible, responsible. It sounds like, I should do something, or I can't just sit here, or if I don't decide now, I'll fall behind. Tonight, we are not here to judge that impulse. We are only here to see it clearly. So settle into whatever position you've chosen. Let your body be supported in ways your mind has not allowed itself to be supported lately. Notice where your weight rests. Notice what is already holding you without asking anything in return. Now notice the impulse itself, the subtle tension behind the eyes, the tightening in the chest, the sense that stillness is irresponsible, that waiting is weakness. This is not a flaw in you. This is the nervous system doing what it evolved to do. For most of human history, uncertainty meant danger. Not knowing where the water was, not knowing whether the fire would last the night, not knowing if the next sound in the dark was harmless or lethal. Your mind learned long ago that uncertainty required action, movement, decision, control. But tonight is different. Tonight, the uncertainty you are carrying is not a predator. It is not a cliff edge. It is not a countdown clock demanding an answer before something explodes. It is simply unfinished. And unfinished does not mean unsafe. Take a slow breath in, not deep, not forced, just enough, and let it go without trying to empty yourself. There is a radical idea we are practicing here, that not acting can be a choice, not a failure. You are not freezing. You are not avoiding. You are not giving up. You are choosing stillness. Stillness, in a world that rewards constant motion, is often misunderstood. It looks passive from the outside. It looks like hesitation. It looks like indecision. But internally, it can be one of the most deliberate acts available to you. Choosing not to act tonight does not mean you will never act. It means you are not borrowing tomorrow's urgency and forcing it into this moment. Notice how the body reacts to that permission. There may be resistance, a subtle panic that says, "But if I don't decide now, I might lose something." Let that thought pass through like weather. You do not need to correct it. You do not need to reassure it with plans. Just acknowledge it. Yes, that fear is here. And then return to the sensation of staying. Staying with the breath. Staying with the weight of your body. Staying with the fact that right now, nothing is required of you. There is a cultural myth that equates worth with responsiveness. Emails answered quickly. Decisions made decisively. Problems solved immediately, but rest has its own intelligence. There are questions that do not yield to force. There are situations that become clearer only when left alone. There are choices that reveal themselves after the pressure to choose has softened. Tonight, you are allowed to let the problem remain unsolved. If the mind begins listing options, A versus B, stay versus go, speak versus remain silent, gently interrupt the process. Not with effort, but with permission. Not tonight. You can imagine placing the question on a shelf, not throwing it away, not locking it up, just setting it somewhere it does not demand your attention. You may return to it later, or you may find it no longer weighs the same. Notice how different that feels from avoidance. Avoidance is frantic. Stillness is spacious. Avoidance pushes away. Stillness allows. Let your shoulders drop a fraction. Let your jaw loosen, even if just a little. The body understands something the mind struggles to accept. That constant readiness is exhausting. You have been on alert for too long. This chapter of the meditation is not asking you to trust the future blindly. It is asking you to trust this moment enough to remain in it. Right now, you are breathing. Right now, you are supported. Right now, nothing is chasing you. That is sufficient. If thoughts arise saying, "This isn't productive," notice them with curiosity. Productivity is a tool, not a law of nature. Rest does not need to justify itself. There will be time for movement. There will be time for decision. There will be time for clarity. But clarity does not respond well to pressure. It emerges when space is created. Choosing not to act tonight is not delaying your life. It is allowing it to breathe. So stay. Stay with the uncertainty without trying to shape it. Stay with the not knowing without narrating it. Stay with the gentle truth that you are allowed to pause without explanation. Let the question remain open. Let the night hold it for you. You are not behind. You are not late. You are exactly where a tired mind is allowed to rest. And as we prepare to move into the next chapter, where we explore what it means to stay instead of escape, carry this with you. Stillness is not empty. It is full of restraint, wisdom, and quiet strength. Tonight, choosing not to act is enough. There is a moment, quiet, often overlooked, when discomfort first makes itself known. Not loudly, not dramatically, just a tightening somewhere inside, a restlessness, a sense that something is unresolved and asking for your attention. This is usually where we leave. We distract. We plan. We scroll. We rehearse conversations that haven't happened yet. We imagine outcomes that don't exist. We look for exits, mental, emotional, physical. Tonight, we're not doing that. Not because staying is easy, but because leaving hasn't worked. So let's begin by simply noticing where you are right now. Not where you wish you were. Not where you think you should be. Just here. Notice the surface beneath you. The way your body meets it. Notice the weight you're carrying. Not metaphorically, but literally. The heaviness of limbs. The subtle effort it takes just to remain still. You may already feel the urge to adjust, to optimize, to do something that makes this moment feel more productive or more comfortable. That impulse is not a problem. It's a habit. The mind learned long ago that uncertainty is dangerous, that unanswered questions mean exposure, that stillness without clarity is a risk. So it learned to move. But tonight, we are not asking the mind to solve anything. We are asking it to stay. Imagine uncertainty as a room you've avoided entering. Not because something terrible happened there, but because nothing happened at all. No conclusion, no explanation, no sign telling you what comes next. Just an open space. Step into that room now. Not with curiosity, not with courage, but with neutrality. You don't have to like this space. You don't have to understand it. You only have to remain. If discomfort rises, notice how it behaves. Does it press? Does it pull? Does it buzz quietly in the background? Let it be exactly what it is. You are not required to calm it. You are not required to name it. You are not required to make it smaller. This is important. Discomfort does not mean danger. The body may tense. The mind may start narrating again. That's okay. When you notice yourself reaching for an escape, mental or emotional, pause. Not to stop the impulse, just to see it. See how quickly the mind offers solutions that aren't actually solutions. What if you just sent that message? What if you just figured it out tonight? What if you just replayed it one more time? These are not answers. They are exits. And tonight, we are practicing staying. Staying doesn't mean forcing yourself to endure pain. It means allowing sensation without escalation. It means letting the moment exist without commentary. You can breathe here, not in a structured way, not counting, not fixing. Just notice that breathing is already happening, that your body knows how to stay alive without consulting your thoughts. Uncertainty does not require your supervision. Let that sentence land. You may feel the urge to disagree. That's fine too. Notice how often the mind insists. If I don't stay on top of this, something will go wrong. And yet, how much has gone wrong because you stayed on top of it? Tonight is an experiment. a small one. What happens if you stop managing the unknown? Not forever. Just for this hour, picture uncertainty not as a cliff, but as weather. It moves, it shifts. It does not need to be pushed away for the sky to change. You don't have to stand tall here. You don't have to be brave. You can be seated. You can be tired. You can be unsure. Staying is not strength, it's permission. Permission to feel without reaction. Permission to be incomplete without urgency. Permission to exist in the middle of a sentence. If a thought arises, this isn't working, notice that too. That thought is part of the pattern. It's the mind checking for progress. Progress is not the goal tonight. Presence is, and presence is quieter than effort. Stay with the sensations in your body as they are. If they shift, let them. If they don't, that's fine too. You are not waiting for certainty. You are not preparing for clarity. You are practicing something rarer, remaining intact while not knowing. This is a skill, not a performance. And like any skill, it doesn't announce itself when it's working. There may be moments when discomfort softens. There may be moments when it doesn't. Neither outcome matters. What matters is this: you are here. You did not leave, and nothing broke. Let that register. Uncertainty can be stayed with, not solved, not conquered. Stayed with. And as you rest here, gently, imperfectly, remember, you don't need resolution to be safe. You don't need answers to be allowed to rest. For now, staying is enough. And tonight, staying is the practice. Chapter 5. Trusting time to move without you. There is a quiet fear beneath uncertainty that doesn't always announce itself clearly. It's the fear that if you stop paying attention, if you loosen your grip, everything will fall apart. So you stay alert, you monitor, you replay, you imagine future outcomes as if rehearsing them might soften their arrival. Tonight, we are gently setting that vigilance down, not because the future is suddenly safe, not because answers are guaranteed, but because time does not require your supervision. You may notice how strange that idea feels. From an early age, we are taught that progress comes from effort, that clarity comes from focus, that if we stop trying, we risk missing something important. But there are moments, quiet ones, usually at night, when effort stops helping, when the mind has already walked every available road and returned with the same questions it left with. This is one of those moments. So instead of asking time to hurry, instead of demanding resolution, we practice something else. We practice letting time move on its own. You don't need to push the next hour forward. You don't need to solve tomorrow before it arrives. You don't need to escort clarity to the door. Time has been doing this long before you learned how to worry. Think back to other moments in your life when understanding arrived without force, a realization that surfaced days later, a feeling that softened on its own, a situation that changed while you were busy living, not watching it. At the time, it may have felt unbearable not knowing, and yet knowing came anyway, not because you chased it, but because time carried it to you. Tonight, you're invited to trust that same process again. This does not mean giving up. It means recognizing when effort has reached its edge. There is a difference between abandonment and rest. Abandonment turns away in fear. Rest pauses with patience. Right now, you are resting. You may notice the mind resisting this idea. It might say, "But what if this is the moment I figure it out? What if letting go means losing control? What if I regret not thinking this through one more time?" Let those thoughts exist without answering them. They are habits, not alarms. You don't need to convince the mind of anything tonight. You don't need to argue it into silence. You can let it speak and still choose to stay. As you breathe, notice how the body already understands something the mind is learning. Your breath does not rush to the next inhale. It does not worry about whether the exhale was sufficient. It trusts the rhythm it has practiced for years. Time moves the same way, whether you plan for it or not, whether you understand it or not, whether you approve or not. And because of that, you are allowed to rest. Imagine placing the unanswered questions somewhere nearby, not throwing them away, not locking them up, just setting them down. They can wait on a table, on a shelf, on the other side of the room. They will still be there tomorrow if they need to be. But tonight, they do not need your attention to exist. Notice what happens when you stop leaning toward the future. There may be a small release in the shoulders, a softening behind the eyes, a quiet recognition that you do not have to hold everything at once. Trust does not mean certainty. Trust means allowing time to do what it does best: move, carry, shift, reveal, and you don't have to move with it right now. You are allowed to be still while time continues. You are allowed to let tomorrow arrive without rehearsal. You are allowed to let clarity find you when you are not looking. Nothing important will be lost by resting. If anything, rest is what allows you to recognize meaning when it finally appears. So for these next moments, release the idea that progress depends on you staying awake. Let time walk ahead alone. You can remain here, breathing, present, unresolved, and safe. There will be moments to decide, moments to act, moments to speak. This is not one of them. This is a moment to trust that time does not forget what matters, that understanding ripens quietly, that answers often arrive after we stop demanding them. And for now, that is enough. Let tomorrow carry its own weight. You can rest here. Chapter 6. Resting without answers. There is a quiet relief in realizing that tonight does not require a conclusion. You may still be holding questions, some sharp, some dull, some so familiar they've taken on the shape of habit. Questions about direction, about timing, about whether you're doing enough, choosing correctly, becoming who you're meant to be. Let them remain. There is no need to escort them out. There is also no need to seat them at the head of the table. For now, you are allowed to rest without answers. This is not resignation. It is not avoidance. It is a pause that knows its own worth. Notice how often the mind treats rest as something to be earned, granted only after decisions are made, plans finalized, outcomes secured, as if peace were a reward for certainty. But certainty is rarely punctual, and peace cannot wait forever at the door. So tonight, peace enters first. Feel the body where it meets whatever supports you. The weight you are carrying, physical, mental, emotional, does not need to be reorganized before you set it down. It can be placed beside you, intact and unresolved, like a bag you'll return to later. Nothing inside it is lost by waiting. Let the breath slow, not because it's instructed to, but because it no longer needs to rush. There is no finish line in this moment, no deadline quietly ticking, just the steady permission to be here, incomplete and breathing. You may notice the mind attempting one last check, one last scan for danger, one last effort to ensure nothing critical is being missed. Thank it gently. This vigilance came from a place of care, but it doesn't need to stand watch all night. Uncertainty does not mean collapse. It means the story is still being written. And stories do not benefit from being forced into their final chapter before they're ready. Rest, in this sense, is not sleep alone. It is the suspension of judgment, the refusal to keep arguing with the present, the quiet decision to stop interrogating the moment for answers it cannot yet give. There is a difference between not knowing and being lost. Tonight, you are not lost. You are simply between markers. Imagine uncertainty as open water, not something you must cross, but something that can hold you. You don't need to swim. You don't need to orient yourself by stars or shorelines. You can float, supported by time itself, which continues whether or not you assist it. Time is already working on your questions. It does not require supervision. Let tomorrow handle tomorrow's clarity.
Let future insight arrive in its own voice, on its own schedule. Insight does not respond well to pressure. It prefers space, silence, sleep. If there is tension in the body, the jaw, the shoulders, the chest, consider that it may be holding vigilance rather than danger. There is nothing you need to guard against in this moment. No decision will be demanded of you before morning. No verdict will be issued tonight. Release the idea that rest is something you fall into accidentally. Let it be intentional, chosen, as deliberate as any action you could take. You are allowed to stop searching. Not because the search was wrong, but because searching is not the only way to care about your life. Sometimes care looks like stillness. Sometimes responsibility looks like stepping back. Sometimes wisdom sounds like silence. If a thought arises, but what if I miss something? Let the answer be simple and kind. If it matters, it will return. The things that truly belong to you are persistent. They know how to find you again. For now, let unanswered questions rest beside you, not on you. Let them breathe. Let them soften at the edges. You do not have to solve your way into peace. Peace can arrive unfinished. As this chapter closes, allow yourself to settle into the kind of rest that does not demand clarity. Rest that understands that not deciding is sometimes the most honest choice. Rest that trusts the slow intelligence of time. You are not behind. You are not failing. You are pausing, and pauses, when honored, have a way of turning into answers later. For now, let the night hold what you cannot. Let your body do what it knows how to do. Let the hours linger unpressured, unresolved, and sufficient as they are. There is nothing more required of you here. Just rest.